I'm sorry, but I find it completely unnatural.
I don't get why you think cremation's so bad. Everyone outside Navarra burns their dead.
All those lost vessels, fine mansions reduced to ash. Manfred, for instance, how would his wisp have fared if I hadn't given it a body?
Yep, same to you.
It's just Manfred's way of saying hello. I encountered him as a wisp in the necropolis years ago. A simple spirit, but so curious. He refused to leave my side.
So, you built a skeleton for the spirit to live in?
Spirits are formed from the emotions and desires of people in the mortal realm. Manfred's wisp came from curiosity. It's these spirits which animate the dead. Their drive revives the corpse, yet the corpse colors their actions. Thus, the eternal question, are undead inhuman spirits puppeting a body, or does some shade of the departed return?
Wait a minute. Can I skip? Gee, don't be rude, Rook. That's a really rude thing to say. Jeez.
I can't answer that. Can you?
I've come to believe there is a return. I swear I could see it sometimes, Rook. A glint of recognition of something more in the dead.
Hey, that's my sleeve. Are you trying to steal my buttons?
As well as a certain mischievousness. Manfred.
Taking the buttons. Thank you, Manfred. Let's see if Nev's doing any better than last time.
Nev, settling back in?
More or less. Lots to catch up on, but when isn't there? I'm ready to get back to work. If we could skip the personal catch-up. Not the day for it.
Take all the time you need.
Alright, well, she's still mad at me. That is, I guess, good to know, because, she's not happy. We'll give her a little more space.
Rook, I was thinking of taking Hassan for a walk. He could use the exercise. Chance to stretch his wings. Thought you'd like to come along.
How to Train a Griffin.
Almost 10 years ago, a shaper from Orzammar bonded with a Titan.
Titans, ancients. You think it's related?
It would make sense, wouldn't it? Volta, that was the shaper's name. Maybe there are more like her down there.
Yeah.
I'd like for you to get the answers you're looking for.
Me too. I know some people in Orzammar. I'll reach out. If I hear anything, you'll be the first to know.
Nice. I remember that DLC from Inquisition. It's crazy how well this game ties in, you know? Like, we haven't had a sequel in Dragon Age tie in that directly since Inquisition. Because 2 was kind of indirect, you know what I mean? But Inquisition was like a direct follow-up to the events of Dragon Age 2.
Rook.
And also to one of the DLCs that a lot of people didn't even play.
Wow, thank you.
Yay! That looks crazy.
So, the Grey Wardens have griffins.
What of it?
It's another secret your order's been keeping.
What does that mean?
Wardens act like the heroes of Taash, but they hide just as many shadows as they fight. So, the Grey Wardens have griffins.
What of it?
It's another secret your order's been keeping.
What does that mean?
Wardens act like the heroes of Taash, but they hide just as many shadows as they fight.
And your crows are saints?
No, but we don't pretend to be. We're honest about our work.
Ah, that's his gripe. He thinks they
Be ready.
exude a sort of false piety. Is that it? Yo, Nux.
There.
Get him,
I
bud.
think Hassan's got something. Why don't you take a look? I'll be damned. Follow the nugs.
Like I said, he's a clever one.
Might make a tracker out of you yet. Hungry? What? It's gingerwort. Eat it.
Remember, light touch.
I mean, it's dessert fit for a prince. See?
He'll be fine. He just has a strong spirit. Let him grow into it.
Might not have time for that. With Lancet and Remy gone, if something happens to me, he'll have to stand on his own.
So, don't let anything happen to you.
I'm a Grey Warden. Death's around every corner. Not that I don't enjoy punching it squarely in the face.
2 or 3 times, just to be sure.
But you can't beat back death forever. Okay, boy. That's enough for one day.
I liked Evren's
but he's
character
having
arc. I think it's
fun.
very sweet that he's
He
like
overeats,
learning to
and
be
you'll
a
find
good
out how fun Griffin puke
like
is.
parent and pet owner. I think
That's
that's
on.
really
You
cool.
heard him. Let's go.
I hope he's in future games. I hope more of these characters come back. A lot of old characters came back for this game. I feel like it'd be cool if some of these ones came back too.
Hey. Some for you. Some for you. Hey, don't be a dick. That was for the little one. Stupid birds.
I wasn't expecting...
What?
I don't know. You with the birds, this is fun.
Oh, good.
Can I help?
Sometimes I practice with the fire out here. It's safer. No people around. Lots of water.
Is it magic or...
It's not magic. My mother says the Kunari used to be closer to dragons. Something in our blood.
The Antom called
Yeah.
you a Dari.
Yeah,
Iron Bull used to
old
say
Kunari word for fire breather. A few like me are born every generation. My mother thinks Adari were meant for something special. She's always looking through the old texts for clues. Come on. Don't want to scare the birds. My mother left the Qun not far from here. She got herself transferred to Kantar from Parvalan. Smuggled me there and then walked out.
I thought Kantar was well fortified. How did she escape with a child?
The Qun isn't a prison. People can leave if they want. You little guys hungry?
Do you miss living under the Qun?
Not much to miss. I was a baby. My mother misses it. She was an Ashkari back then. A scholar.
Why'd she leave?
Me.
It kind of reminds me of in Dragon Age 2 when the Arashok, when you kill the a bunch of the Talvashoth and you try to get rewarded by the Arashok, or the dwarf who you work for tries to get a reward from the Arashok, and he's just like, we didn't ask you to do that because you killed the Talvashoth. I feel like the reason why the Arashok didn't like those Talvashoth is because he thought they represented the Qun poorly, but he wasn't like actively trying to like purposefully kill everybody who left the Qun. He just didn't respect them. And then he tries to convert the whole city to the Qun. And then he gets disavowed by the rest of the Qun. So, bit of a tough bit of mixed messaging. I guess he pretends to be more, I don't know, neutral in the beginning.
There's enough for all of you. Shathan was worried about what the Qunari would do with a fire breather like me.
What would they do?
She said they'd have me put in the Antam, use me as a berserker. The idea scared her enough that she left her library and walked away from the Qun. Hey,
Aw. No!
come on. Over here.
Wait, hang on. I scared the birds. That's not good. We have to reload. We have to try it again. I didn't mean to scare the birds.
Come on. Over here's where I practice.
Why not on the beach?
The
Oh,
birds.
wait, hang on. Not this one, the other one. Okay. I didn't realize we could scare away the birds like that. That's my bad.
My mother left the Qun not far from here. She got herself transferred to Kontar from Parvalan, smuggled me there, and then walked out.
I thought Kontar was well fortified. How did she escape with a child?
The Qun isn't a prison. People can leave if they want. You little guys hungry?
Do you miss living under the Qun?
Not much to miss. I was a baby. My mother misses it. She was an Ashkari back then. A scholar.
Why'd she leave?
Me. There's enough for all of you. Shathan was worried about what the Qunari would do with a fire breather like me.
What would they do?
She said they'd have me put in the Antam, use me as a berserker. The idea scared her enough that she left her library and walked away from the Qun. There you go. Come on. Over here's where I practice.
Why not on the beach?
Don't want to scare the birds. We just fed them.
I didn't want to scare the birds either. I didn't realize I could scare the birds.
What the crap is that?
The Antam must be marking their territory.
Not on my beach. Vosh Vatari. Come on. These banners need to burn.
Get them.
All right.
Nice. What does it feel like when you breathe fire like that?
It's more like spitting.
Ew.
Something inside my throat opens up and lets stuff mix together. Then there's this rush of heat as I roar it out.
I'm surprised it doesn't hurt your mouth to do that.
It can. One time my tongue got in the way. Got a mouthful of fire.
Ouch.
Didn't hurt much. My mother has to make food extra spicy so I can taste it.
I guess that's the trade-off for being a fire breather.
It's fine. I smell stuff better than most people.
An Antam supply cache. Too bad it's locked up.
Not for long. Watch.
Gotcha. Wow, it burned right through it.
Yep. Melts some metals, not all.
How'd you figure out which kinds of metals you could melt?
My mother said I went through a lot of spoons as a baby.
A lot of spoons. Oh my god.
This way.
More birds to feed?
Something like that. Karash, it's Taash. I brought food.
Avatash, it's good you came early. The feather clouds are getting lower. It's going to rain. Who is this with you?
This is Rook. She's a friend.
A friend. All right. Make sure you both dress for rain. Drip rain, not mist rain.
Nice to meet you.
And you.
Karash was a worker caste navigator. Got dragged along with the Antam when they invaded.
They told us it was ordered by the Qun. I was not taught war. I was taught the weather. Red clouds for thunder, gray clouds for rain, green clouds for the devouring storm, and black clouds for the Antam cannons. After what they did in Ventus, I ran away.
I'm sorry the Antam did that to you.
I do not have my old life or work, but I remember who I am. The Antam have lost even that.
You saw their banners? They're in the area.
I will not be seen.
Okay. Let me know if they bother you.
I am at peace, Evatash. I have the clouds to watch and fish to eat.
More than just fish. Here you go. Shathan said to eat the fruit before it spoils.
I like the cookies better.
Everyone likes the cookies better.
I'll eat the fruit. Thank you, Evatash.
Panaheydan. I'll see you soon.
That's wild.
So, the dragon hunter has a softer side.
The Qun says you take care of people.
So, you're a little Kunari, a little Rivani, and a little dragon?
Yeah?
I get that.
Come on. I should tell my mother how Karash is doing. So how do you get it?
I had to leave most of my old life behind when I joined the Shadow Dragons. And now I'm fighting elven gods. So you take what works from each part, right?
Yeah. I had to take Kunari language classes growing up. I had to learn how to tie these stupid knots. It wasn't so bad when the Kunari and Ravain were at peace. Now the Antam have broken from the Qun and started attacking. People look at me like they're scared I'll switch sides.
That's their loss. People who've only ever been one thing will never know how big the world is.
Yeah? Maybe. Mother, what are you doing here?
You used to call me Tama.
I also used to wet the bed. Want me to start that up again?
I'd rather you didn't.
Not that it's my business. She's not in my...
She always did like the flustered ones. In truth, Evitash's tastes are quite varied, although it is uncommon for her to be attracted to men.
Mother.
Perhaps because in some ways, she acts more like a man herself.
Why are you here?
Shush.
I came to ask
Shush.
Karash about the tablet your group
Rude.
recovered. I wondered if some of the symbols might be used among the Antam.
Be gentle. Don't make him talk about the war.
I see the wisdom of your suggestion. I also see that you used your fire again, Chakra Toebra.
Chakra Toebra.
Remember to keep your consonants crisp. Kunari do not slouch, and neither does our language. Panaheydan, Evitash. You did well bringing Karash his food.
Sorry. She's like that.
So, the flustered ones, huh?
Well, thanks for coming. We should get back.
Thanks for having me along. Maybe we can do this again.
Right? Yep.
I'm so happy. What is up, everybody? What is going on there?
No, I know. It doesn't make any sense, but it works.
Wouldn't the connection to the lyrium cause...
The veil to rupture? Not if you're careful. Really, really careful.
Rook, good to see you. Belara was telling me about one of the artifacts she calmed. Her manipulation of the Hylic spheres put some circle mages I know to shame.
Oh, that's so nice. Really?
Balara, repairing the Illuvian network alone is worth a thesis.
Have you run into anything like it before?
Not at all. The principles are familiar, but the application, the finesse. Though admittedly, my interests lie more with the spirits. Look to Balara for elven magic expertise.
You were here, what, 5 minutes? And you had that thing fixed.
And it's quite a complex mechanism.
Well, thank you.
That said, I've noticed you working at all hours on that artifact.
Really? I don't think it's all ours.
And you're either the first to wake, or you simply aren't sleeping some nights.
Thank you, Professor, but I'm fine. Mostly.
You don't seem that certain.
Well, when you're in the Fade, there's no sun or moon. So I tend to lose track of time. Just a little bit.
So, you sleep more regularly outside the Fade?
Well, sometimes, maybe. But we're in Solas's old home. There's so much to learn.
And we've time to learn it. But in order to do that, you must take care of yourself.
Not that Solus should be any kind of example, but even he slept. You can too.
Sometimes I can't. Fall asleep, I mean. My thoughts get in the way.
Perhaps I can help.
With sleeping?
Yes, I can teach you some breathing exercises, the ones we show initiates.
Oh, that's very nice. Thank you.
Of course. We must look out for one another.
And thank you too, Rook.
Anytime.
Okay, I am going to relax right away. But first, I had another question.
I thought you might.
They seem sweet. Wasn't Manfred out here? I feel like he was right here. There he is. Look at this guy. What? You just beat me in rock, paper, scissors. I'll win again. He got me again. One more time. Best out of 5. Draw. He got me again. He throws paper every time. Stop throwing rock. Throw scissors.
Did I see you writing a message to the Inquisition? What's that about?
You know, Varric and I were part of the Inquisition, right? I'm trying to get news about the South. But Charter hasn't replied to any of my messages. I'm trying not to worry about what's happening there, but... No, it's probably fine. Charter's just busy. She's always busy.
Charter. Who's that?
She's the Inquisition's spy master. Well, no. I guess now that the Inquisition answers to the Chantry, that makes her Divine Victoria's spy master.
I haven't heard much about the Inquisition in years.
Oh, that's intentional. When the breach was open, we needed a large group to stop Southern Thedas from falling into chaos. It's changed in the years since. We're a smaller force working underground to keep an eye on things going on in the world.
Why isn't she here? We could use a hand.
Charter entrusted the search for Solus to Varric, to us. The world's large and she's got many things to deal with.
So how long were you with the Inquisition? 10 years?
Something like that. Why?
You must know the Inquisitor.
Well, yeah, we worked together. I wasn't part of the Inquisitor's inner circle, though. I spent more time with the ordinary people, the ones you didn't hear about.
And the Inquisitor's advisors? What about them?
Of all of them, I'd say Josephine is my favorite.
Makes sense.
She's lovely. She still sends me a box of handmade sweets from Val Royeaux every year on my name day. Cullen and I got along too, but he was always busy. He would have bad days from lyrium withdrawal sometimes, and I would share the tea that my ma sent. He's from Ferelden too. Maybe it reminded him of home.
What about Liliana? I heard she's intense.
I think she likes to cultivate that reputation. She's not nearly as terrifying as she sounds. Oh, I passed her in the Great Hall one day, and she suddenly turned and asked me if I wanted a nug.
A nug? Those small pink rodent things? What for?
She loved them and made a hobby of breeding them as pets.
So did you take the nug?
No! What am I gonna do with a nug?
But you did know people from the Inquisitor's inner circle, didn't you?
I knew them, sure, but those early days, all I wanted was to prove myself and not get in anyone's way. Some of them were more approachable than others. Sarah was a puppy with a new toy, 100 new toys. Fun, if you can handle the mess. She was really the only one who could make Rainier, well, Blackwall then, let down his guard. Otherwise, he kept to himself and stuck to the stables. We'd talk when I visited the horses. And there was Cole, of course.
The spirit boy?
Yep. I was just sitting on the walls one day, and he asked if he could join my game.
Like a card game?
Nah, just good old people watching. Must have seemed like a game to him somehow. We'd pick strangers out of the crowd and try to say something about them. Like, ooh, she heard the joke yesterday and she's still trying not to laugh. Or one of Cole's. His eyes remind her of the ones beneath her bed.
Eyes under the... Okay.
Who stores eyes under their bed? I'm partial to a nice wall display myself.
Well, that's one interpretation that never occurred to me. Thanks.
You're welcome. Wasn't Cole an empath? Oh, he must have been great at this game.
Ah, but the rule was you couldn't say anything you actually knew. He got it in the end. I think.
So you didn't ask him if you guessed right?
Well, being right wasn't the point. Making a habit of seeing people was. I think he liked that. It's why you don't miss.
So, tell me about these ordinary Inquisition members I haven't heard about.
The Inquisition hired hundreds, and most of them weren't Magisters or Ben Hasrith or the left hand of the Divine. There were scouts and stable hands, carpenters and cooks and quartermasters, even 2 dedicated pastry chefs. Most of them volunteered, like me. We wanted to help in whatever small way we could.
You helped people. That's not small.
It sure felt like it sometimes. I'd sit with Rector and Faulkner and we'd watch the important people with their important business rushing by.
Rector? Faulkner?
Liliana gave all her agents pseudonyms.
Right. Like Charter.
Well, Charter's Charter, but when the other 2 and I were together, we were just Lace, Wilbur, and Katya.
Do you miss it? The Inquisition, I mean.
That's
It's
cute.
hard to miss an organization. They're only as good as their people, don't you think? But I do miss my friends. We write each other, but it's not the same. And the Inquisition is different from what we've built here. Not better or worse, just different. It's special when you're among people working toward the same goal.
Not everyone. There was Solus. What did you really think of him back then?
Lonely. He always seemed lonely. It's hard not to be when you hold yourself above everyone else.
As smart as he's supposed to be, there's just some things he doesn't get. At all.
Yeah. Maybe one day he will. Maybe. If you help him. Anyway, I'm sure something out there's on fire, and here I am rambling about the past. I should let you go. Talk later?
So, Lucanis, you're an Antivan crow.
Yes.
He is that.
Do all crows have demons in them?
No.
What? No.
It's fine if they do. I'm Rivani. Our seers let spirits possess them for ceremonies.
Well, Antivan crows don't. Spite was put in.
I sense a way through, Dweller. Find that which seals the path.
You were saying? Well, Antivan crows don't. Spite was put into me by the Venatori.
Oh. That's messed up.
Yes, that is messed up. I like that when their dialogue gets cut off, they actually restarted where it left off. That's really interesting.
A journal about seeing Venatori and Crow meeting spots.
Good to know.
Let's dig around some more.
Occupied. The insult of it.
It's more than insulting. I could have daggers in 100 necks by nightfall.
No doubt. But more necks would present themselves tomorrow.
I have other daggers.
Am I interrupting?
Forgive Thea. She gets testy when a contract is delayed.
Neither of you strike me as the bloodthirsty sort.
Our shared enemies deserve our worst.
You want help against the gods. We want Treviso free. We now think they may be the same problem. The occupation has a face. The Antam commander, Keith Lord butchered Dathrata. But Viago thinks killing him outright is short-sighted.
The Butcher took the city suspiciously fast. Removing him is useless if someone else can repeat that, with the help of gods or something else. Despite it being the outcome, assassination is not about killing, it's about sending a message.
And what message would that be?
The Crows rule Antiva, and Treviso will be free.
You're in charge? Antiva has a king.
And the power of a king is enforced by armies. Antiva has no army. It has the Crows.
There's a reason Antivan coins have portraits of guild leaders, not royalty. We're patriots. Crows can't field a battalion, but we protect our nation our way.
Butcher Dathrata. What do you know about him?
The Antam army fractured, split among warlords, and he seems to have kept the most traditional discipline. And the rank and file like it. His numbers keep growing, but the Butcher himself is odd.
Odd how?
He gives daily speeches about how the occupation is somehow merciful. And the way he talks, it's familiar. It's like he thinks he belongs here. And I won't have it.
Helping the Crows helps everyone in the long run. What's the first step to your message?
We have a scout named Dareth. He said he was onto something the Butcher was hiding.
He was in the Drown district, so that's a place to start. Find our Crow and help with his contract.
Find your Crow. Then what?
We break this occupation. We craft the message one step at a time.
And when we finally assassinate the person who leashed Treviso, that death will tell everyone. The Crows rule Antiva, and Treviso will be free. I've noted the location of Dareth and his cousin, Jacobus, in the Drown district. They're always together. Jacobus may not trust you at first, because you travel with a Kunari.
The occupation makes it difficult to appreciate the difference between regular Kunari and the Antam.
I know they're not talking shit about Taash.
I heard crows can strangle a Kunari with their own darsam.
With their what?
The ropes Kunari wear. You can strangle us with them, but only if they're tied wrong.
Why would we strangle you with your arm ropes? Why wouldn't we just stab you?
Doing it with the darsam makes it look like an accident.
We're professional assassins. Most of the time, when we kill someone, we want people to know it was us.
Oh, okay. But you could strangle a Kunari with their Darsam if you wanted to.
Of course.
That's an oddly sweet interaction, for reasons I can't explain.
Come on, Ilario will meet us at Cafe Pietra. It's not that far from here. We have time before he arrives. I wouldn't mind looking around a while. The markets are running. Good. I need to get some things while we're here.
Hello.
Let's try here.
Monster bones? Really?
For Hassan, think of it as a bribe to stop him from chewing on the alluvian.
Fine
Treviso.
decor for the finest
Barely had time to look around when we returned from the ossuary. And then there was the dragon.
You miss just being here? Without the chaos?
I used to think it would never change.
A potted plant?
For Harding's garden, spearmint is supposed to calm bad dreams. It's good in desserts, too.
So you and Ilario are cousins?
Yes, but we're more like brothers. Katarina took us both in, a long time ago now. Bellara mentioned the daily seafood recipe she wants to make.
The demon of Virantium is grocery shopping for the team?
Have you seen what they eat? It's a miracle you didn't all starve before you hired me.
When we met, it didn't seem like Ilario and Katarina were close.
Now they're here anyway.
It was hard to be close to her, even for me. And I was her favorite.
And even wine glasses. Very fancy.
For Emmerich. He keeps side-eyeing the drinkware and shaking his head when he thinks no one is looking. I once spent 4 hours in the market while Ilario searched for the perfect pair of silk gloves.
4 hours?
Ilario has always been fussy. And he wanted to impress a woman. A good selection. Fresh fruit. Nev only eats fried fish. You'd think a detective would have discovered scurvy by now.
I notice you have expensive taste.
I lived a very comfortable life before.
But you did your own shopping?
I suppose not always.
Ground peppers?
Taash said something about wanting more exciting meals. I thought I'd oblige.
Is that everything on the list?
Yes, and Ilario should be here by now. Let's go before he gets himself in trouble.
You can't buy something for everyone but yourself. Here, this is for you.
A wyvern tooth dagger? I loved wyverns as a boy. Katarina would never let me have one of these, though. Cafe Pietra is just ahead.
That's where we're meeting your cousin? Why not the casino?
House Cantori has many talents. Making coffee is not one of them.
So this place has the best coffee then, I see. Oh, excuse me. Mr. Cat, may I pet you? Thank you. It is very polite. I appreciate it.
Finally. I thought you might leave me here all by my lonesome.
Please. You think I'd ever pass up Cafe Pietra's coffee?
You see, Rook, my cousin is all stomach and no heart.
Don't mind him. Ilario cannot appreciate anything but himself. They serve a specialty roast here, Andoral's breath. Bitter and sweet, like a kiss goodbye. You should try it.
You just described my dream cup of coffee. Nobody's listening. Should we get to business?
There's still the one at table 3.
She just left to follow the waitress.
So, you have something?
Cute.
The crows I sent after Sarah have picked up her trail. They say she's gone to Virantium.
have a friend who's very good at finding people.
Katerina was first Talon. This is Crow business. We can handle it.
Apparently not. Your lead is no good, cousin.
You have better information?
We're compromised. There's no other way Zara could even touch Katerina. You need your eyes here, in Antiva.
Zara would never be foolish enough to stay. Not with you out for blood.
Of course she would. If the crows protecting her are here.
Rook, reason with him, would you? He's being paranoid.
I am not paranoid. She came after
he's
me.
the rat.
She came after
It's him.
Katerina. She will come for you too.
If it'll make you feel better, I'll clean house, all right? Leave it to me.
That's a guilty man right there. I think he's
He's
up to
gone.
something.
Of course he is. Ilario always caves under pressure.
Let him. Crow business or not, we'll find Zara ourselves.
Good.
How's the coffee? As good as you remembered?
Better. I dreamed about this coffee for a year. They say taste and smell awaken our strongest memories. For so long, memories were all I had. But whatever the circumstances, the here and now is a much finer place to be. How's your coffee?
Strong enough to take down a god. Ready to head back to the lighthouse?
Almost.
That's cute. I like that. Hello, pop culture fan. I wanted to see where that scene was going. It did not disappoint. I like that you can tell him about your favorite drink. That's nice. Okay, I'll beat you this time, Manfred. Yes. Finally. I'm taking that win and I'm walking away.
You call Manfred Fred?
Sure. He walked into my office. I said, Fred, can I call you Fred? He nodded. Seemed happy about it. If he doesn't like it...
Oh, Manfred doesn't mind. He quite likes you. Does the diminutive imply a certain level of comfort with the necromantic arts?
It shows a certain level of comfort with your friend. The rest of it, well, that depends.
On what?
On what the mage using it is up to.
It looks like our boy Hassan is feeling his oats. Or whatever griffins feel.
He's getting the hang of it. When he listens.
He seems to be able to handle himself so far.
You got lucky the Gloomhowler didn't tear you to pieces, boy. You wait for my command. We attack together. Then we can kill stuff like that.
At least he's learning.
The instincts kick in. Griffins see darkspawn and it's a fight to the death. Like wolves hunting deer. Just need to corral it.
Sounds like the perfect soldier. And even flies.
Aerial cavalry. A full-grown griffin is a force of nature. Every muscle in him, every talon, every feather, honed into a killing machine. Hassan's ancestors took on archdemons.
Like his name says, he's an arrow.
Half lion, half eagle, with the instincts of both, griffins will always be hunters.
Just like his daddy Davrin.
I suppose we are our nature.
Not sure about that?
Most of my life I've hunted the darker things in the world. But caring for a griffin? What do I know about that? Yet here I am.
That's not so bad, is it?
Not the path I expected. Makes me wonder about Hassan, his brothers and sisters, still young, pure.
You're worried?
I'm responsible for the future of every griffin alive. I want it to be a good one. These animals live to fight, but I wonder if there's another path for them.
It's still early. Hassan's just a kid. Let him test the waters, see what shakes loose.
You mean like a parent?
Yeah.
Yep.
Parents. A scary word. I'm supposed to be his bodyguard.
What do you think you've been doing this whole time?
Trying to ignore it. If I get myself killed by a Herlock, that's on me. If it's Hassan, I just don't want to mess it up.
I think that's where trust comes in. That Turlum idea you keep talking about. Trust Hassan to find his way. Don't force things.
He's headstrong.
Good thing you are too.
Right. Thanks for the chat.
That's kind of sweet. Oh, he leveled up from that. That's kind of funny.
Rook, do you have a minute?
Of course. Something wrong?
Thea wants to meet.
That doesn't sound like a bad thing.
She wants to plan Katerina's funeral.
Oh, right.
If you don't mind, I could use some backup. In case Spite gets out of hand.
Let's not keep Taya waiting.
For me?
Yeah. I'm glad that he likes it. I gotta finish writing a eulogy for my grandmother's funeral for Saturday, so it's kind of weighing on my mind a little bit. She passed away a few days before the election, so I actually found out about it while I was on stream on Halloween. So yeah, I found out she was getting rushed to the hospital, and then that. So it's been, it's been a little rough, but she had a good, as good of a last decade as she could have been. Her dementia got pretty bad. She couldn't. For years, it had been years since she had recognized me. But, she loved me a lot, and I cared about her. So that's kind of where my mind is. Finding out about that has kind of been one of the things that has kind of pushed me to be more focused on myself and on the stuff that I actively care about. Because the thing about getting into doing political content for so long was kind of that it put me in a position where I was always talking about stuff that made me upset and that I didn't like. And I think as necessary as I felt like that was, and as much as I will give my my past self the grace of knowing how important it was to me, nevertheless, I feel like the really important thing to do right now is to focus on what actively matters to me. My condolences. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I had been mentally preparing myself for it for a decade.
From what I hear,
most people with that condition don't last that long. They degenerate pretty quickly, and then
trying to live up to that.
Is your mother like that?
And also, she, for the most part, there was a period where things were difficult for her, where she was confused about things. But
very intense as well.
That did end up passing, and she got a lot more relaxed, and
You're gonna kill the ones that did.
Yes.
She seemed at least somewhat peaceful in the end. It was hard to watch happen to her, of all people, because she was such a vital person. She was so energetic. You know, when I was a little kid, and she would watch me when my parents were busy. She would be cooking in the kitchen. She had this like woven basket full of wooden spoons that she would use to mix stuff, you know. And I would knock over, as a little kid, I would knock over the basket of spoons all onto the floor, which, you know, as an adult, now I realize, oh my God, now that means she has to wash all of those spoons. It was like 20 spoons. I would pour all the spoons on the floor on purpose, and I would pick out one of my favorites, and we would like run around the house like sword fighting with the spoons. I would put this old blanket that I had from when I was a little kid on around my neck like a cape. Yeah. So there was a lot of laughter and a lot of fun. And that's, you know, you remember the good stuff. But we had a very positive relationship, and she was very encouraging to me, and she's kind of where I get my very, like, political energy.
Thank you for making the arrangements, Dea.
So.
For Katerina? How could I do otherwise? I'm so sorry, Lucanis. This must be such a blow. Rook, thank you for coming with him. I need Juan de la Muerte to plan this.
I know
His
I keep
cousin has
saying
been
this,
no
but my
help at all.
Rook looks so good.
I'm sorry, Dea. This is just too much right now.
If there's anything I can do, just say the word.
You're such a dear. I hope these two are paying attention.
Dea, don't flirt with my colleague.
Jealous? Fine. Do business, then.
Jealous?
There's a lot to plan. But first, I need the ashes.
Ashes?
Make it help us. Yes, the ashes. Katerina's ashes. From the cremation?
Oh, yes. Of course. I'll get them to you right away.
Ilario, what happened?
What do you mean?
Katerina, how? How did the Venatori get to her? When? Where? In the estate? In the city? How did they get past our people? What did they use? Poison? Blades? I need to know.
Cousin, stop. You can't dwell on
Lucanis
this.
is one of my
It'll
favorite
drive
characters from
you
this game.
mad.
Hi, Admiral Paco.
I'm not
What
dwelling.
is up?
Zara killed the first Talon. I have to know
I've been
how
holding
if
off
I'm going
playing
to
this
stop
off
her.
stream so that you guys can have my first reactions.
Boys, enough of this. We have other things to discuss.
I just finished my Inquisition playthrough.
Continue without me.
I've been
get
posting
you the
about
ashes.
the Dragon Age games a lot. Sometimes it feels like I'm the only person who likes this game. A lot of people are pretty harsh on it. You know.
How are you holding up?
I'll be fine. Better.
Which, like,
once
you
we
know,
kill
not that
Zara
they're all
Renata.
in the same boat
It's
or
him
whatever.
I'm worried about.
But
Hilario can be a handful. But this, the only time I've seen him like this was when Lucanis died. You're worrying, aren't you? What will people say if they hear the demon of Virantium has a big
much
soft
restraint,
heart?
true.
He's been careless at times, but never when his own life was on the line. Zara took down the first Talon. Anyone could be next. And my cousin doesn't want to think about it?
You have a point. It's not like Hilario to ignore a knife coming at him.
What do you need from me for
I
the
think
funeral?
that Ilario guy is
Come,
part of the.
I'll get us some
part of
drinks
the
and we
problem.
can make the arrangements.
Dude, our bit rate's jumping around a lot. What the hell?
Our house owes you for handling all of this.
Katerina
Why is
was
that
family.
happening?
Can you imagine what she'd say if she saw us all like this?
She'd be furious, especially at Ilario, as usual.
If that keeps happening, I'll see if I can do anything to fix the stream. I don't know why it's jumping around so much. We've been having some Wi-Fi troubles lately, and it seems like it started in the evening a lot. So, not really sure what the deal is. I love Veilguard. I've taken a bit of a break to replay Mass Effect, but it was so overhated. Yeah. Having a good evening doing some gaming myself. Europa Universalis. She'd be furious at Ilario.
She was a smart lady.
She was the best. Of all the Talons, Katerina was the sharpest.
Which makes it even harder to believe this could happen. Nobody could catch her unaware. And now Hilario's got his head in the clouds.
I'll have my people keep an eye on him for you.
Thank you, Thea.
Go on. I'll let you know if something comes up.
I accidentally made my rook look a lot like Link from the Legend of Zelda games, but extremely feminized. So instead of Link, she's Twink. Which is good, because now I get to date this big buff lady. Look at this big ol' lady. I love you. Oh my god, wow, her ass is really out. Okay. Sure. Something about this game is that also reminds me of Dragon Age 2 is that like Dragon Age Origins really introduced a lot of
I needed something to do.
Whoa.
At 4 in the morning?
Sorry if I woke you up.
Got any more of those fried things?
I'll make another batch.
I love how cordial they're being. I think Taash asking for food and Lucanis apologizing, I think that's how they say I love you. So it's probably fine. I love these little nods to the older games where there's like a bucket of potions here. Because you used to have to run to find those in Inquisition to refill your potions. So having those mixed throughout the levels is kind of like a weird
Not even an
little
army stops the
consistency.
Treviso market.
A lot of good food smells.
You can give money to a lot of people in the city. Wait a minute.
My grandfather was a tailor for the
This is the tavern music from Inquisition.
I am here.
That's what he's playing.
So are the crows.
Oh, yeah.
Treviso will be free.
You guys hear that? Ah, that's a nice touch. This game clearly has so much love put into it. I think I'm every time we stream, I'm finding like another like 5 things I love about it, and occasionally one thing I don't. You know, like I definitely see that stuff for sure.
Please, you have
Why
to
are you
finish
so
Darrett's
small,
contract.
you friggin'
It's about
idiot?
the butcher.
Why are
My
you?
cousin was going to spy on the
goof.
butcher. He told me.
Why are you so
he'd pick
little?
up the contract from a dead drop. But then, someone has to finish this for Darrett. Please.
We will take care of it. Go back to the diamond.
I will. Just give me a minute.
Creating a short character just so the romance options can be much taller than you is galaxy brain stuff. I know.
That note said Dareth should pick up the contract at the usual place across from Taya and Viago. Just follow the marks.
There will be a trail of marks left by previous crows. It will lead us right to it.
Like on the walls? I think I saw one close by earlier.
Let's go look.
My interesting like crackpot lore theory, or what the Veilguard adds about some of the lore of Dragon Age, is that because I just recently replayed Trespasser.
Perfectly thrown.
Yeah, it's right
That's
there.
gotta be Dareth's trail. Keep an eye out.
Ding old little mark on the wall. Look at that. So you guys probably remember earlier in the streams, I was kind of talking about how I didn't like the change to go back to the Origins body types, where it feels like everybody looks slightly more human in their build. I think the Qunari, this is the least true for. But like the elves definitely look just slightly a little too human compared to DA2 and Inquisition. But something that's very interesting to me is
I meant to pick up more spices. Another time.
I've got goods from all over.
something that I was thinking about as I was replaying the end of Trespasser last night was
A fine evening, is it not?
there's this like implication with the Qunari like Dragon's Breath plus like this game, how this game builds on like the Dragon's Breath plot, that and also something Iron Bull says in the base game about Kunari having like a little bit of dragon in them. I think the races might be like genuinely related. Like they might have a common ancestry or
Here's
something.
another crow mark.
Because the ancient
You were
elves
saying?
seem a little bit different.
Lucanis, when we were at that market, the lady selling ribbons was into you.
Smelled like strawberries and blood.
Hey, Spite, eyes on me. That is a no. We do not talk about what other people smell like without their permission. Okay?
Fine. You're not scared of Spite?
I'm Ravani. We got all kinds of spirits.
What makes you think the ribbon seller was interested in me?
Caught her scent.
Not fair. You just said.
Oh my god, he's Venom. I just put 2 and 2 together there. I think somebody said that in a previous stream, and I was like, oh yeah, I guess in the sense he's got like a personality living in him. But they literally, their
Is where the marks lead.
personality dynamic,
Darth's contract
Lucanis
must be
and
here
Spite are
somewhere.
literally Eddie and Venom. It's like this. Oh my god. Okay, well that's, yeah, no wonder he's one of my favorites. I love that dialogue. Oh my god, yeah. This game, like, Dragon Age has, and to a certain degree Mass Effect as well, they've always kind of, like, been carried by their dialogue writing. When people talk about the games having really good writing, usually the thing that I think that, there's like 2 things that they're talking about. Sometimes what they mean is that, like, they really like the stories of the games, but a lot of that, like the way that you encounter the writing through the gameplay more generally is dictated by things like level design and like quest writing and stuff, which is a little bit different in terms of how you create it than like dialogue writing, especially party banter. Is this a thing? Yes. House of Repose.
Butcher is making poison. Comic.
Consult the crows. They're gonna say caw, caw, caw. That's all they say.
Are you out of your minds?
Someone.
I told you crows to stay out of this.
Out of what? Defending our home?
If we had a stronger civil government instead of a bunch of circus criminals, the Antam wouldn't have a foothold in the first place.
You're responsible for the city?
This is Governor Evenchi. They have concerns.
My concern is how you've endangered the city.
We're defending Antiva.
These protections are in place for the good of everyone. You act without oversight.
We crows are the oversight.
And yet, here we are, awash in Antam. And now, you've angered the Butcher.
The Butcher?
It's bigger than whatever it is you're whining about. The gods are corrupting some of the Antam.
And the Butcher?
You two were right. He had help taking the city. Human traitors.
I didn't want to believe it. Killing the Butcher does nothing if someone could just sell us out again.
I'd start right here. You Talons are known for infighting and betrayal.
You're accusing them? One of their crows died for this contract.
That's enough. Rook, thank you for finishing that contract. The only reward we have is to ask you for more.
We're allies. Of course I'll help.
Evenchi is right about one thing. The Butcher will not like that we're fighting back.
We need to be ready. Rook, I will have every crow tracking this traitor and the gods, and we will send word when we find something.
The stakes are too high. This should be left to proper officials.
Go back to filing trade receipts, Evenchi. The crows rule Antiva.
And Treviso will be free. With or without you, Governor. There's an interesting letter there, Rook.
An art merchant has information on the Antam?
Mistress Trella would not waste our time. Visit her gallery and ask her what the Antam are up to.
I promise he's not sending you just for some exposure to Antivan art.
There are worse ways to spend an evening.